The Condor primitive bushcraft knife, let's check it out. Big fan of Condor knives. They're made in El Salvador. They're made from really good heat treating processes, and the steels are good. They really are purposeful tools, and you know, the finish is not too bad, but it's not, you know, something that you're necessarily going to collect. But I've always found that Condor really performs very well, and they're very specific designed, and a lot of really high-end knife makers produce for Condor, at least their designs. This is a Matt Graham. It's the primitive survival knife. It's kind of a very unusual shape to it. Really a very nice sheath. And we're going to take a look at some of these. We're going to take it out in the field. We're going to beat it up some. I've already done a partial review on this. I got this out of a battle box, and I went ahead and tested it and did some work with it. But we're going to put it through its paces again and do some testing a little more extensively than just a battle box review. Now, this knife retails for $104. I found it on Amazon for $75. So it's a very reasonable knife, but yet you're getting really good quality. And I think it's one of those knives that you can use for smaller, delicate tasks, but you can also use for larger tasks. This is actually a decent chopper for its size. You can really cut through wood. You can prepare fire. You can skin with this if you want. You can actually grab it up here at the top and be able to use it, and that would be for skinning. So it gives you, because of the width of this blade, it gives you an area to be able to grab here and to get more detailed. So to me, really, as far as this being a bushcraft knife, I think it is. It fits a lot of roles, and to be honest with you guys, you know that ounces equal pounds, and the less you have to carry, the better. Now, Matt Graham's signature is etched right on the knife. One of the things about Matt Graham is one day he went for a walk and he didn't come back for 6 months and just lived off the land. And just a really serious survival expert. And his tools relay that message. I mean, it shows the utilitarianism, just the necessity of the tool, and they work well. And then, of course, the sheath is something else that I really like. It's more of a Scandinavian type design, but also these are kind of used out in the African bush. And it doesn't have a belt loop, but it's a really nice leather sheath. And the knife is an unusual shape, but it fits in just right. It's tension. There's a lot of tension right here with this leather. It's top grain leather. I mean, it's tanned well. Looks like it has a wax on it. It's stitched all the way up through the edge. And you have this little tab that actually fits through your belt. And then it's built up really heavy up here at the top. And then, of course, you can see the stitching here. I mean, it's just a very nice sheath. And you have an embossed Condor right here on it. So the knife just slides in. There's a little gap right here. I guess that's to tell you which side the blade's coming out on. Even though it's really made for one way to fit in, it kind of bumps up a little bit to follow the spine. It will fit in the other direction if you're left-handed. But I think it's really made for that right hand. And to be honest with you, I think this would be perfect for cross draw. More on your weak side and then pull it across. It's a pretty large knife. The blade is 8 inches. Overall, it's about 13¼ inches according to my scale. As far as the weight goes, it weighs just over 11 ounces without the sheath, and then when you add the sheath, it runs it up to about 15½ ounces. So really, the blade being fairly thin makes it great for really cutting, slicing, not necessarily chopping, but it does a great job on wood that's about your wrist, or about 2 to 3 inches. This is actually 420 high carbon stainless steel. has a very nice sharp edge on the spine. So you're going to be able to use fire steels with this because of the high carbon, and yet it's going to keep the corrosion down. It has kind of a sandblasted finish on here as well. This circle right here is for the eye of the Condor. So that's kind of cool. And then it has, you know, your grooves that go through. El Salvador actually embossed into the metal. It has a Scandi grind, and then the tip comes up and is sharpened on the top. And this tip is going to be perfect for bow drill to make your pivot in your board. The handles are hardwood, but they're from South America. They're very similar to hickory, but it's got a very nice finish to it, very satin feel. Comfortable as you hold it. You have 3 eyelets where you can run paracord through here, even make it into a spear because of the 3 eyelets. Definitely you could put a lanyard on here, and if you're going to use this in the field, it would be excellent for that. But you have the area comes up here, your guard, and then the pommel gives it a little bit of expansion out here at the back, and then a palm swell in the center. It's got the full tang, which is essential, especially for bushcraft or for survival. And I find that the Condor knives are heat treated well. This is a 56 to 58 Rockwell hardness. One thing I love about this sheath, just beside the versatility, is that I can set it here. I don't have to undo my belt. I don't have to take everything off. If I want to get rid of it, and if I want to set it down somewhere, I can just pull it off and set it aside, especially if I'm around camp. And then if I need it, I can just take it, put it right back in. Now let's say I need to go in a hurry. I'm in a big rush. Makes it really simple to be able to slide this in. Now, as far as the retention, it holds very well. It pulls out. Just hold on to the sheath as you pull the knife out, and you're ready to go. Or if you just want to carry it, if you want to slide it into your pack, it's pretty slim and trim. As far as the retention, it holds up very well so far. I don't know, over time it may get a little more loose, but I think putting a little paracord around the bottom here would give it even more retention if it did get a little loose. But it's a pretty sturdy sheath. As far as the edge with the fire steel, that'll put out some sparks. And these Fatwood fire steels are awesome. I mean, you have the handle that you can use, and it comes with a stick. Just thought I'd throw in a little plug for these guys. They're great. Here we have some of the Ingalls Creek Outfitter Fierce Fire. This stuff is phenomenal, and makes it really easy to be able to split. But we're going to use this to build us a little fire. We're going to get some shavings. And this stuff just performs beautifully. And look at this. This knife just feathers it out. Really thin shavings. Get some dusting here. There we go. This stuff is some of the best fire tinder. I'll have a link down below for the Fierce Fire and the Tinder Torch. I've done some reviews on it. Good stuff. And there's nothing better out in nature than a good fire. This little guy will help you do it. This is an old dead piece of pine. Chops pretty good. The handle's really smooth. It's hardwood. I'd probably like to see a little more palm swell in here, but it seems to do fine. Of course, we want to always show some batoning. Here we got a little sapling. We need to get it out of the way. That spine really does get that bark off. It's a nice good edge to it, no doubt. This is after chopping some trees and some other stuff. Purpose of this blade is to make a little divot for your bow drill, so we're just going to go ahead and test that out. Tell you guys, I just thought about it. Obviously, spending 6 months out in the woods, you learn a lot about what you need. And guys, just a little cleanup and about back to new. Just a little bit of residue up here at the top where I was using the fire steel, but I can get that off as well. This is a great little blade. So the Condor Primitive Survival Knife, I think it's an excellent knife for bushcraft. It's not one of those you're afraid to mess up. You're going to get it out there and you're going to use it as a tool. And guys, to be honest with you, that's the only reason I buy knives, to take them out and to use them. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Typically I find that Now typically Condor knives can be hard to find because they are so Yeah, it does really well. Shit, am I using the blade? Wait, what?